Alright, so here's a trade that I'm in right now. I'm in a position for $57,000. Hoping for like a 1% scalp. Yeah, it's definitely bearishly diverging, right? Even though see the bottoms, right? Higher lows, but the RSI is actually lower lows and the higher highs, right? But lower highs. So it's like going upwards, but this is like going downwards in a channel like that, which gives me a good sign that it's bearishly diverging. So it's a good chance it's going to end up coming down. I have my price averaged out to about 89.74, so we'll take about a $500 profit, maybe 550. I'll check up on it a little bit. I'm playing game of Dota. See you guys. All right, so Bitcoin was really obvious that it was actually going to fall down. Leading first wave diagonals, also known as rising bearish wedges, okay, end up going 5 touches like that, and then it breaks to the downside. So because this was going to do that, it was very obvious that IOTA was going to do something like this as well, right? Except IOTA made a symmetric triangle, broke to the upward side, hit the top of the channel, and then here's where people would have targeted at the bottom of the channel to assume parallelity. And that's what I did, okay? Ended up starting my short around 194 here. Closed it there at 186 this morning for a $1,429 profit. So let's talk about why I went into this trade, okay? And why and how I actually got this RR set up. So the symmetric triangle, right? It breaks upwards. If we notice right here, the symmetric triangle ends up breaking upwards. So we would expect the top of the channel resistance to actually, or sorry, the top of the channel to act as a resistance, right? And then if we draw this really long trend line support down here, what we see is that, okay, well, first of all, we're going to say the top right here could hit as a resistance, and there's many wicks to the upside. That's where I was shorting from the 194 ranges. We simply couldn't get it up there, right? So then, and also, if we draw this out like that, what we see is it's actually making some sort of not only symmetric triangle, but after it broke the symmetric triangle, is making some sort of wedge, right? Where it's wedging to get out of there, right? It's like a rising bearish wedge. So because it's like a rising bearish wedge, really good chance for it to come down. And the general rule of a rising bearish wedge is that when it breaks to the downside, you want to do something like target like a channel resistance, okay? You want to do something like that, right? And you want to target the bottom side of the support of the channel. Sorry, if you go up, you target the channel resistance. When you go down, you target a channel support. So you assume parallelity and just assume it would hit there. So that's how I was able to get this 2.5, whatever, 2.5 something risk to reward ratio. And also, if you look at it on this particular side, right, this is kind of how the whole thing was done. Right, I was just choosing a very, very, very arbitrary fib level, and also we went down to right here. It hits roughly the 236 fib range, right? So it was more so the channel that caught me, and that's how I was able to obtain this specific risk to reward ratio, which was phenomenal. So I hope you guys took many things away from this opportunity, or from this lesson rather. And you take a look at all these other signs of bearish diverging, okay? Tons of signs of bearish diverging over here. You look at it from even up here, okay, on a 15-minute chart, right? You look at it across the board, and what you see is bearish diverging. Okay, at least you go to any time frame and you see it bearishly diverging, right? Like that right there. Let's go to a 1-hour chart, right? We're hitting a series of double tops or tops here that just simply cannot break above it. Okay, so there we go. Go to the 3-hour chart. It's kind of the same thing, right? Where we're just getting series of tops that just simply cannot break any higher than it. So yeah, that's kind of cool like that. So yeah, pretty obvious it was gonna break. I slept on this, and that's how I was able to make this profit right here. It was kind of cool. Sorry, wrong one. Let me just go to IOTA. Yeah, so it definitely broke out of this wedge right there. It's probably gonna hit on like 182 or something. That's probably my range. But I literally closed mine around like, 87, 86.70, right? 86.72, something like that. I literally just caught like the very bottom end, right? The whole time. So yeah, I hope you guys took a lot from this lesson. I'll see you guys for the next lesson. All right, this is a pretty good battle right here that we see going on at the level 2 order book. So I'm in a short position for right around there. I entered it a little bit early. I entered it right around here. It actually spiked up to there around the 22s. I didn't really get any orders filled at the 22s, but I got it filled around 15,126 and 15,07. So those 500 are definitely in profit by a lot right now. If I had to add them up right now, they'd be in profit by about $50. But it's this guy right there where I shorted from about 90, 10 cents under this, around the 40.90 ranges. That one I'm down 1,000 on, so it actually adds up, to be about $100 of a loss if you take in the fees and stuff. Well, it's actually only 50 if you take into the fees. So now I'm actually almost broke even. Okay, this is really okay for me to put in one go. Unlike the IOTA ones, if you guys remember, those ones took a lot of time to close because we didn't want to basically take profit out one specific chunk, since it could have scared the market the amount that I was playing with, right? Since IOTA's, of course, 24-hour volume is much lower at 28K. Every time you're playing with 50 to like 80K or whatever I was playing, you got to take into account the liquidity as well and the volume. So EOS is, trending about 8 times greater in terms of volume. Here's that 251 million. So you can play these big amounts without affecting the market as much because we're so little fish that's just following, right? And as you can see now, this right here, where it was originally holding since 9 in the morning, it's right now, if you look at the time right there, it's about 2 in the afternoon right now. It actually broke down with very little ease. So this trend line that was established right here was basically just a very short-term temporary trend line, right? Or it could have just been coincidence as well, but it was trending roughly between the 21 and the 13 EMA, right? So that's where the trend line was broken. It was a pretty strong uptrend actually. I think surged up 5%, 10%. Wow, it surged up 10% since this morning, guys. Since let's just see when the breakout actually was. Like, I guess you can see here, from there to here, it surged up 27% in the past 24 hours. So EOS is kind of kicking butt right now. So this one closed at 889. Yeah, they got to do something about the Bitfinex time, the countdown. It's actually not working right now. So we're gonna have to go here. So a big reason why I entered this trade is because look at the 15-minute chart, right? You guys see right here? See how high this is getting? It's always the same strategy, guys, that I use right there. And now you compare these highs right here as well, okay? Like compare that high and that high. You look at the price action, and the price action basically says, yeah, this is going to be, it's giving you a series of a higher high for price action. But for RSI, it's actually losing steam because this one's giving you a tops with lower highs, right? So this is actually a very bearish signal when something looks like that, okay? Despite us gaining strength, like if you look at here as an observation as well, this one, that one, and then this one, okay, this one here, the low, this one here, the low is actually lower, right? Look, this one, the low is lower. And because the low is lower, but this one here, the price action, it's a higher low. That also means that it's losing strength. So it's indicating that it's actually losing strength all across the board right now, and that this possible top is going to act as a channel resistance right now. So as it acts as a channel resistance, there's a strong chance it's going to trend down to over here, right? Like most likely right here is where I'm guessing. Okay. Watch. Let's see if I'm right, guys. It's going to trend somewhere between here and here. So this would be my region for the RSI target, actually. Just playing it by ear, okay? In this range right here. If that one doesn't hold, then of course there's a lower barrier as well, and an even lower one. So EOS has a really good likelihood of hitting these ranges. Okay, I finally found the game after like 30 minutes of searching for Dota. Really, that took like 30 minutes. I'm already up $1,400 today, as you guys saw. Check out my previous videos. And yeah, when I finish this game, I plan to be up another 400 bucks. See you in 40 minutes. Yeah, so let's just do a technical analysis on EOS while I'm trading this coin anyways. Makes sense too. Okay, let's just clear up everything here and just do it from the beginning. So on the daily chart, it's probably on a tear. Yes, sir, it sure is. It's a pretty big gain. I mean, that's a huge gain. I can't believe I missed that. I've been too busy shorting coins all day and night that haven't really been focusing too much on EOS because the last 24 hours was an IOTA day. Okay, so 4 hour and daily, this is looking great so far. Everything is looking great across the board for bullishness. 3 hours starting to reveal a doji with 2 hours left to go. That's the first sign of bearishness. 1 hour to go, another doji shows up there with the histogram starting to flatten out most likely. Okay, the histogram is ticking downwards on the 1 hour. So we see overall that it is trending on a larger degree uptrend. But we see on the smaller time frames that in the short term that a correction is most likely very due. On the 1 hour time frame, the doji reveals itself already. That's why in the 2 hour, it shows a doji for now, because it's still working on the other 1 hour candle, which combines to make both. And we see on the 45-minute, right, we see a rejection right here. Okay, that's a shooting star type candle with a hanging man with a bearish spinning top there. But these combinations of candles indicate bearishness, okay? And if you look right here on the high, I think we went over this already, right? Yes, we did. On the highs over here, right? They're actually lower. It's getting a lower high, but the price action is giving you a higher high, right? So unless this miraculously pushes upwards and the histogram does not downtick either, right? Because we are definitely downticking here, right? We are going to get some sort of negative histogram crossover. Maybe not to the negative, but very, very close for, the next 2, 3, 4 hours, which is enough to drive down the price, right, to where I want it to be. So we look on the 30-minute chart as well. It looks like there's going to be some sort of crossover on a MACD. Not that I'm a MACD really trader, but just some people do, and it might affect the price. We see that it's weird how I see this actually. I see this kind of like a flag, an inverted flag, right? So I do expect this to hit some sort of top soon on a 30-minute time frame, and then just most likely break down. I could have taken profit already, as you guys noticed, right? Like I really could have, because if you look on the Bitfinex here, like I could have taken profit over here, even at 88 for a 200 something dollar profit, right? I definitely could have. But let's see if this ends up breaking down. Okay, well, it just literally skyrocketed in price by like 15 cents. It just jumped up about 1% in the past two candles. It's a percent and a half, right? I need some water right away. My throat's so dry and I just woke up. I made that one trade in the morning, and then I'm like, okay, I'm already up $1,500, and I didn't even do anything. So I just went back to bed till like 2 in the afternoon. That's the time now. It's so much pressure to go down still, right? There's a lot of pressure. No matter how I draw this, I gotta be fair. If I draw it like that, that's not really that fair, right? Like, because I'm barely touching that point. I'm barely touching this point. I'm just basically getting those wick ends. So I have to draw it in a way that's unbiased to call that as a support. So that's the best way I can draw it right there. We're still getting rejected. Like there's a lot of people selling. I do have water. It's right here. Yeah, I got a lot of people selling here right now in the order book, right? Man, it's kind of slowing down though. Finally, I got a game. Yeah, this one's going to be a tough trade. I'm trading against the grain right now, right? Yeah, you know, like the Japanese say, they say that the nail that sticks up gets pounded down. And I might get pounded down, guys. I'm making a really risky move right now because EOS is supposed to be very bullish overall, right? But you guys got to keep in mind that I will be criticized for the trades that I take because I tend to be fairly public. I don't talk about all of my trades, that's the truth. Some of the ones I do very risky stuff, and I'll manage it in a way that's risky, right? By adding more to my position than I should, or I box on smaller caps if I'm just trading it solo, right? And yeah. So I don't talk about every single one of my trades once again because some of them are just too risky and it's not stuff that I would encourage. But here it's nothing really fine. Well, my game didn't even fine again. So here we're spiking back up, but I'm in a good position. Like we're back to my break-even price for the 500 about. Actually, on the 500, I'm still up, but it's the other ones, right? But here it gives you like a base price average. But you know, like just look at the 30-minute chart. It looks like it's a recipe for just disaster for it to come down, right? Like just the way it's hovering like that. You know, when it hovers too long like that, it tends to just crash. Okay, and here it's even higher. But do you know what I mean? So the MACD is one of those things that I look at to see how far overly extended to the positive or negative side we are. And right now, it's very overextended to the positive side. It's kind of like the RSI, right? Once it's too overly extended to the other one side, it tends to want to break down, right? So let's just say I ended up drawing something like that, okay? Like, could this have made a first wave wedge, you know? It could have, okay? Because the characteristic of a wedge is very simple. It says that the third wave could actually be the smallest wave, all right? The third wave could be, not the smallest wave, sorry. It can be much shorter than the first wave. As long as it's shorter, it's longer than the fifth wave, which is usually what happens, right? So let's just say that this actually was the fifth wave, okay? Like where this did make some sort of leading first wave diagonal. Well, Bitcoin did it. Why can't these guys do it? This one would probably be 2 over here. You know, this would be 3. We're just going to exclude the wicks. 4, 5. But this one here is kind of grasping on straws, right? Like we were talking about that earlier, trying to make them all fit. Like, okay, sure, that looks pretty decent. Yeah, okay, sure. We can accept that, something like that. Or this one might make even one more touch, right? Something like that up to over here at 15, 20. But then, like any rising bearish wedge, what happens to it, guys? Right? Any rising bearish, it's called a rising wedge that because it's bearish, right? So that's exactly how I'm seeing this as well on EOS. That's also why I'm in a position to short. I'm in a position to short right now for how many? 14.9644. I mean, it's actually only $22,000 today that I'm playing. Yeah, I can play a lot more EOS, but I'm not going to. This is more than enough, and I feel the pressure coming down already, okay? Yeah, I definitely feel the pressure of it coming down. Yeah, it's gotta. I mean, like, whew, look how tight this range is getting. Some bull trap regions on a higher time frame just looks like a wick, right? See what I mean? Just looks like a wick. This guy would just look like a wick on a 30-minute chart. See what I mean? So we got ourselves a pretty good formation going on here, right? Where the first wave is the longest, second wave correction down, I'd say like yeah, we can even call it like yeah, I'd say there. I'd prefer it there. This one here makes it very symmetric though with wave 4, but it doesn't really touch, right? So I think it would make like more like an A B C D E type pattern before it broke out there. And then you got your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 possibly if this one was counted from down here. Like I guess we could make that exception. It still trends here, right? Where this makes 1, 2, perhaps 3, 4, and that makes a perfect 5 to come up there around, right? And yeah, and now it's just really, really testing right here, okay? It tried to get up there to 1522s. I should have bought a lot more. And now it's just testing this trend line again. Like, I know a lot of people might say it's not that relevant, but keep in mind, like for a day trader, it also follows patterns, but these patterns are just more um, loosely accepted simply because, of course, a pattern on a larger degree, on a longer time frame, will be much more significant than something on a very small time frame like the 5-minute chart, right? But we do what we can and we try to look for signs that it's leaning more towards one way than the other. And regardless of what you do, whether it's trendline analysis, whether it's Elliott wave, whether it's price action, level two, just watching your momentum indicators as well, whether it's Ichimoku clouds, like Bollinger Bands that you use, indicators are just they're a way to supplement and to help you decide what way it's leaning more than the other, right? And patterns are one of those that will definitely help you as well, in my opinion, but it's not the only way to trade, right? I'm just using it as a guideline. And then, of course, I'm supplementing it with Elliott wave as well. So not just trendline analysis, but Elliott wave. And we're also looking at price action and RSI to see with level two to see what direction it's more so leaning towards, right? And what we see right now, guys, it's definitely getting pushed down, right? It just tried to break above the 50 ranges, or sorry, the 15 ranges again to the 09s, but it got shut down very quickly by 17 cents already. So how can I not be bearish right now, right? This guy is trying to hold it up right now at 14.90. Yeah, and I understand the whole switch, guys, to the mainnet, right? Where all EOS holders, they're encouraged to register their tokens and move it off of the Ethereum blockchain, and because EOS has got their own now on their mainnet, so something like that, right? Which is a big step. It's big, it's big news, right? So here on the 15-minute chart, we're down on the histogram, ticking downwards. See how much lower this is going to go. It's already at the 14.94 ranges. It was much lower earlier, actually. It was like at the 28s, I think. Yeah. So if you guys take a look at the candles here, take a look over here. So this is kind of like a bear spinning top with doji that's forming. The doji is closing in like 2 minutes. It's a pretty bearish candle in general, I'd say. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's gonna make that formation that we were talking about earlier. I'd say so. It's making some pretty bearish candles in general. It's got a lot of wicks. Maybe it didn't even hit this yet, right? Like before we were just grasping on straws. Maybe it didn't even hit this line yet. Like we're still at about 15 or 14.95 right now. I'm at my break-even price. It's not really up. It's not really down. Yeah, it's completely at my break-even price right now. Let's look on the 1 minute time frame here. Yeah, it's really testing this. Histogram doesn't want to get any lower yet right now. Price action, it's people coming in at level 2, people coming in to buy at around these ranges, right? People are selling it, but they end up picking it up, right? 96, right? See 66 right there, 66, 67. People are actually getting their orders filled around these ranges. Every time they end up getting their positions filled a little bit, more people end up rushing in at that price. It's probably the same guy because he doesn't want to go through a hidden order to get a fee. Okay, now we finally dropped about a penny. Yeah, 933. There we go. We're definitely down ticking pretty hard now. Okay. Yeah, down ticking pretty hard. This is looking good. There we go. The 894 ranges already. Yeah, we broke out of it completely, guys. Right? So yeah, the trendline analysis ended up being very successful. It worked out very well. So okay, now let's talk about targets. Okay, assuming that this like let's just redraw this. Okay, like it was supposed to be like that, wasn't it? Right? Or is that not really a good one? It's not really good, right? I think it was like that. I think like that's probably the best way to draw it, to be fair. Like that, perhaps? Yeah, okay, that will accept, okay? So the target's about 73 right now, we'll say. All right. 73, we'll say. Short term. Okay, that's going to be very acceptable. Okay, so let's just say that that was actually the top of the whole thing. Now, if these were all 5 waves that were counted already, then guys, we're going to go for a target right around this particular range. Okay, that's going to be the first support range. Okay, I'm very in profit now. My game of Dota finally came up here. Okay, I'm in profit by over $200 already. I'm not closing it yet, guys, though. Okay. Yeah, I'm not closing it. Screw that. I'm gonna close mine like at 73. And then I'll be $300 up. Yeah, I'm gonna go play my game of Dota now. I'll see you guys later. I do love my video games. Oh, actually, it's almost gonna close already. I'm just gonna keep it open. Let's see if this makes its 5 waves down, or if this is making the ABC. Huh. People are buying now. Yeah, I'm just gonna take my profit because I missed my chance for decent position there. Because I want to go play this game and I don't want to water my position. See you guys later. Alright, so here I am now in a very large position. I'm in a position for about 80k. So I'm taking it pretty seriously, of course. About $80,000. So this is what a 1% swing looks like if you guys haven't seen before on an 80k position. 1% is about $800. So we're attempting right now. See right here, it's making me a little nervous. Okay, so if I take fib from the entire range here of where the uptrend actually began, just to allocate the most generous amount, this is actually a very aggressive approach. We're looking at a target of roughly, like I could, if I actually swung this and stuck it out, 4% of 80k, which is about $3,200. We're getting a lot of wicks. See how we're getting a lot of these wicks that are rejecting to the upside, right? Yes! That's what you want, guys. You want that large dump, right? You want that large dump. Yeah, I'm literally just around the corner, right? We're making this rising bullish wedge right now. Okay? This is called, oh sorry, rising bearish wedge. This is the first point, second point, right? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 coming down here, and then it makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes! Easy trade, guys. $462. Ooh, I closed my position way too fast at 202, guys. Honestly, it shouldn't have been at 402. It shouldn't have been at 402. Ah, I should have adjusted it. Did you guys see how that dropped? Did you guys see how that dropped right there? Honestly, that dropped like a rock, and I knew that was going to happen too, right? I didn't even know. Oh, I feel kind of bad right now because I was in a massive position there, for 4,000. I lost on $800 of profit, right? Because I knew that was going to happen. Oh, jeez. Look how it just dropped all of a sudden, right? This is called, guys, this is called a rising bearish wedge, where it makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it couldn't break the top. I just lost out on $1,600 of profit right there. Yeah. I was excited because I thought that my price was much lower, right? I thought that my price was actually much lower, but it wasn't. Yeah. So look what ended up happening. Like it ended up falling all the way down to 14.253. So if I had actually held on stronger and if I had adjusted my limit order properly, okay, if I had adjusted it properly, we were just talking about, Fibonacci here and retracement, I would have actually been in profit $4,000. I missed out on a $4,000 profit. But instead, playing an 80K position and making a half of a percent, 0.5, this is after fees, everything said and done because I used all limit orders. I'm still up $462. All right, here's my profit, guys. Sweet. There you go. There you go.